I have potential. I've heard that throughout my life as a percussionist and a musician, and when I was in college, I got this Distinguished Artist Award scholarship, and so I knew it was true. My junior year, I decided that I was going to do a solo recital. I didn't have to do it. I didn't have to do it until my senior year, but I decided that it was a good thing to do junior year. I can show off a little bit and show I'm really ahead of the game. 30 minutes, solo recital all by myself. As I'm picking music, I decide to play a Bach violin sonata on marimba, which is like a big xylophone, and I'm going to end the recital with this piece. It's a pretty challenging piece, but I know that I'm going to kill it, and I'm going to look really good, so I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to end my recital. Unfortunately, I didn't really know what was required of me to prepare for a solo recital, and I wasn't the overachiever then that I am today. So as I was planning out my practice schedule, my practicing kept getting bumped for things like hanging out with my friends and going out with my friends and not going to the practice room all by myself. So, but by the end of it, I'm feeling the crunch. I need to really practice, so I start spending more time in the practice room, and the day of my recital comes. And I didn't know what time I was supposed to get to the music building because my professor and I had never talked about it. But I thought, you know, it's probably good to spend enough time beforehand practicing and really being in a Zen moment, playing through my pieces calmly, being a little bit mindful, and really mentally being ready for the recital. But I was also extremely ambitious about the amount of things I could cram into a short period of time. So my day backed up and I was running late. It's 1:30, I'm in my house, and my recital's at 2:30. I'm getting ready, I'm doing my hair and my makeup, and the last thing I have to do is put on my red taffeta bridesmaid's dress from last summer, and then I have to run out the door, and I'm about to go out the door, and the doorbell rings. So I open the door, and I see standing in front of me my great Aunt Ethel. She's short, extremely short, wiry, energetic. I'm like, Aunt Ethel, hi, it's so nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a decade. Come on in. And I'm thinking, why is she here? Why is she here right now? I have to go out the door. I don't know what to do. And it turns out she had driven 3 hours to come see me at my recital with my family. And she just beaten my family to get there. And I'm like, okay, well, let's sit down and let's have a conversation. And she's asking me, how are your sisters doing? And tell me all about your classes. What's your favorite subject in school? And what are you learning? And I'm thinking, I can't answer these questions because I need to be in the music building right now. This isn't really, I don't know what to do. And I can't call my family because we didn't have cell phones back then. And so finally it's 2 o'clock. My family comes, I offload my great aunt, and I run over to the music building. It's a 30-minute recital. I have 20 minutes to warm up. So I sort of kind of play a little bit of every piece, and then it's 2:30. It's time to start. So I'm playing through my recital, and it's going pretty well. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting in the groove, and like, yes, I finally did spend some time in the practice room. It's paying off. I'm on stage. You know, looks like that potential is really showing its face. This is great. So it's time for me to play my last piece. I'm standing in front of the marimba, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a deep breath, I'm gonna really get in the moment, and I can't really breathe because I'm wearing this taffeta dress, and I had forgotten that taffeta doesn't have any stretch to it. And I can't see the audience in front of me because the lights are really bright, except that I had decided to play this piece memorized, so there's no music stand in front of me, and I can see the front row and all my friends that I studied Bach with in all of my history and theory and lessons and classes and things. And so I'm like, all right, that's fine. I know this piece. I'm gonna kill it. And I start playing, and I'm going. And the first half of the piece is great. I really liked it. And I had practiced it, and then I get to the second half of the piece. And I start to make a few mistakes, and I'm starting to realize that my muscle memory isn't kicking in. And I'm starting to realize that I probably should have put the music in front of me anyway, because it doesn't really matter if it's there or not. It doesn't look that impressive, because then I could look at it and I could fix the mistakes that I'm making, and then I'm not really sure what to do. And I wish that I'd spent some more time in the practice room, and all of a sudden, I totally blank out. I have no idea what the next note is. In that moment, I have a couple of choices. I can stop playing and run off stage embarrassed. I can go back to the beginning and restart the second half of the song and go through the torturous thing again, hoping that I don't forget it the second time. Or I can follow the advice of all my music teachers that they had given me, which was, whatever happens, don't stop playing. Okay, so instead of fight or flight, I decide to flail. And here I am, and I am just flailing my arms, hitting totally random notes, desperately trying to rack my brain and try to remember any part of the song. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I am aware that the music that is coming out of the marimba sounds kind of like the Twilight Zone, a little bit spacey and definitely not Bach. And I'm just thinking, please, 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 can I remember anything? All of a sudden, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, okay, I got it. I remembered the last 2 lines of the song. I finish the piece, I take my bow, I go off stage. As I'm headed to my post-recital reception, where all of my friends and family and professors are supposed to tell me what a really wonderful job I just did, I'm thinking, maybe it wasn't so bad. Maybe it was just me, and they didn't really notice, and this, it just sort of went under the radar. And I get out there, and the types of things that I hear are, good job, you kept going, and way to not stop, and, you pulled through, slugger, good job. And I'm thinking, good grief. A couple of years later, I had to pick more music to play for a graduate school audition. And I have to play a marimba piece again, and I decide I'm going to play a Bach piece. And I'm going to do a Bach sonata just like I did before, and I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried at all, and I'm not worried about the last time, because as I go into this grad school audition, I know that I have potential.